It is like, it feels like the hottest day of the year. I don't think it is. Was that bit in May was like really hot, wasn't it, them 3 weeks?
It's hotter than the sun itself.
I've been playing tennis this morning. You two have been playing football. 3 big sweaty boys in a blacked out room. It's not conducive to podcasting.
It was absolutely roasting.
Oh, hang on.
What do you mean by was? It still is.
Yeah, it still is. I mean, there was someone was on fire at football though, Felix.
Yeah,
and it wasn't Anth.
I heard a couple of toe pokes beat him.
Goal's a goal, innit?
He scored like 2 goals now. And then he was whinging about people going in the box every 5 minutes, asking for penalties and that.
Then Anth went in the box, and you know, like how a lot of people are like, oh, it's only football, it's a bit of fun. I categorically refused to play on until I got the penalty because Anth went in the box.
So I left a tune for one weekend, and we nearly caught a rascal.
Yeah,
as if I missed all this. What happened?
Oh, it was a very fun weekend, wasn't it?
It was very good.
Basically, I just got a call on Friday to try and help out with something. And essentially, Dizzy Rascal was doing. Oh, what's this? I like this. It's not Dizzy Rascal, though, is it?
But it was a mission. But it was a Mission Impossible that you then succeeded with.
I like it again. There we go. Oh, I like it now. So anyway,
just have to explain every.
I can't wait for the day that Felix just absolutely twats you in the side of the microphone.
Just have to explain every sound effect now. Right, let's go, come on.
That's why he likes this one instead of the stand one now, so you can just swing it at you for good day.
I'm just enjoying the tune. Yeah, so we got the call. Obviously, he was doing a little pop up in a few different cities.
Yeah,
and they wanted to. Okay, I'm done with it now. They wanted to. They wanted an outdoor venue for like the footage, but obviously we had to find an outdoor venue.
Freight.
Well, we had to find somewhere that was licensed correctly for what they wanted. So we did it at Dewsburn Garden.
Okay.
And obviously we couldn't really put it anywhere because we didn't want too many people turning up, although they did then put it out on their socials, but that was nothing.
And a certain local newspaper decided to share it everywhere as well.
Yeah, but we just did like a private
bastion
guest list
of local journalism.
Yeah, we just did like a private guest list.
Footballer's wife eat pizza.
A private guest list, obviously through the networks and stuff, just to make sure there was a really good party there with the correct people to enjoy it, and what a party it was. It was like capacity, obviously, so that's maybe 300 people.
Yeah,
for like an intimate private Dizzy Rascal show in a lot of ways, and it was brilliant. Obviously, there was people coming down once they put it on the socials trying to get in from outside, but obviously, I guess that was what they wanted to achieve with
people
it. People
literally like on bike up a ridge looking down watching it. Like,
but I guess that's what they want to achieve with it. So oh, look how amazing he is, come get tickets for him in October. So the
do you know what date he's playing in the arena?
Yeah, it's the 8th of October.
There you go. Where can you get tickets? DizzyRascal.com.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm just guessing.
We'll all be going. Obviously, they were brilliant. You know what? The whole team was absolutely brilliant. Obviously, we helped with that, so they're going to look after us all.
And you were hoping to snag Dizzy Rascal for the podcast. I was like hundreds of miles away in Coventry at a wedding.
Unbelievably. Couldn't have been worse.
And it was like, will you get back in time to record with Dizzy? And I was like, well, I probably can.
I know, we were close. I feel like we were close. But he's back in October, so we're going to be asking the question again. Look what we did, you know, they had a great time. Come do the pod with us.
And I heard you had a couple of beverages.
Well, in my defence...
Hang on.
Adaboo.
In my defence, right?
He was mortal.
In my defence, I had to watch the fucking shit show that was Newcastle playing Brighton.
Yeah.
So that basically just tipped us out of the edge. And then I just got ultra fucky.
But I didn't know you were a big Dizzy Rascal fan either, and you said you'd seen him 3 times pre.
But Dizzy Rascal didn't lose. It's just a tune.
Fuck off.
I mean, so did Borough, so let's not.
I don't support Middlesbrough anymore. I just
don't even like football.
I know I don't like football apart from when we play on a Tuesday and I bury some past you. But
Carlo got a 2-0 win away at Gay Meadow. I mean, it's not called Gay Meadow anymore, but any Shrewsbury fans watching, dead. That's what I call it.
But no, you were very drunk. But you had a great night, didn't you? You brought your auntie.
Fucking mint.
I heard you stormed the kitchen.
Do you not remember this?
Oh yeah, I didn't storm the kitchen. No, I was just he was asking me crap like what I'm up to and stuff, so I was having a bit of banter with him, and then I was like, "Get up this kitchen."
Shout out Brackburger, they looked after us.
Then I went in the posh fucking hell, man. Like, I've worked in a lot of kitchens, but I have never experienced heat in
What about this?
I was going to say,
I literally went to Ollie, I was like, I don't know how you can physically do this. The two lads like on the grill were just the two lads on the grill were just like melting away, weren't they?
Yeah.
But,
That light switch is melting away.
Oh my God.
Right, hang on, let's pause this and we'll try and sort it out.
Is that on me the same way it was, by the way?
That camera is on you.
The same way it was?
I couldn't tell you exactly the same way, because we just kicked it, because I've tried to turn light switches on and off. We've tried to turn fuse boxes on and off. We need to get a new fuse. We need to get a new light switch. We need to get a new podcast studio. I'm
guessing we're back.
We're back. So you were in the Brack kitchen down the Usburn.
Yeah.
And did you cook anything?
No.
I was waiting for the story for you to just go in and go, right, I'll do your burger. Watch this.
No. No. Just had a little look about and stuff and a bit of banter, and then Dean came in and got the most fucking vanilla burger of all time.
Unreal though.
What was it? Come on.
Honestly, right? What do you think he got?
So plain bun, burger, one patty, bit cheese.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised he had cheese.
That's
unreal,
what he got.
Did you put any sauce on it, or did you just have it dry?
As it was.
Do you like dry food? Like the plate of food that goes down in front of you in Nando's is so dry.
I do like dry food. Like, why? He's my favourite chef. Oh, he's genuinely offended. He's genuinely offended. There was a little camaraderie there for you there, Anth. It was a joke.
Go back and see your fucking boys at Brackburger. Put all that fucking weight back on you lost the other week.
What was on your Subway before? Was it meatball?
No, it was just ham and cheese.
Just ham and cheese. Literally just bread, ham, cheese. Yeah. Any sauce?
Nope.
It's incredible.
Why didn't you just
It was incredible.
Why didn't you just go to Greg's and get a ham and cheese baguette?
Nah.
It's a weird one.
So we've got Bethan Kershaw.
Yes.
Coming on soon.
Yeah.
About to sweat.
Yeah. We're going to get this fan back on.
I think we are going to put it back on, to be honest with you. How did you first meet Bethan? How did Bethan come into your life?
Bethan...
made it sound so romantic.
No, Bethan worked for us in 2014, I believe. She'll keep us right when we get here, but I think Bethan and a couple others joined us at, when we had the Thursday and the Sunday, 2014.
You know what a Thursday and Sunday is. For people who are watching, what nights were those?
Thursday at Purdue at the time, which was Mazed.
Yeah.
And obviously Sunday at Tup Tup, which is Persistence.
Yeah.
And she joined us then, and then I think she worked for us for a few years, and then I've just always stayed good friends with her. A lot of time for Bethan. Obviously, she's been on numerous shows, which we'll touch on when she gets here.
Geordie Shaw.
Yeah.
Celebs Go Dating.
She's going to...
Geordie Shaw All Stars?
I believe so, yes.
Have you ever been a big watcher of Geordie Shaw?
When it first came out,
right?
Because I was obviously a bit younger at the time, when it was like the original OG cast, and then obviously as time went on, you then were a little bit interested because it was your friends were then on.
Yeah.
Because it was all the people who were like in the town scene who then went on, who obviously were on the TV, so you were kind of watching your mates at that point, do you know what I mean?
And you're obviously watching to see how Persistence looked.
Of course. Of course. I tell you what though, that clip where Scotty talks about where he got reverse catfished in Persistence.
Well, did he get reverse catfished? Don't know. Honestly, I mean, I know it's a good title, but I genuinely couldn't work out what was going on, because she ultimately, like I think Scotty said, she didn't get catfished. She won the big prize.
Yeah. But that's gone viral. That shout out Felix on his
333,000 views. Not even collabed with Scotty T.
There we go.
Not even collabed.
But yeah, so Bethan's brilliant. Obviously, we'll get her on and have loads of crack. She's really interesting. She's really funny. But just a little point as well, because I said I would give a little shout out, didn't I? So obviously on Saturday, I was originally meant to. Well, actually, two things. It's typical, isn't it? There was two things on. So one of my good friends, Philippa, it was her 30th birthday, but it was also a leaving party. And he's wanted a shout out in every podcast so far, and we're finally giving him a shout out. He actually had a great shout out in one of the Matt Reid ones, Matt Reid intros that didn't make it, didn't he? Why didn't they make it again? Can you remember? It was to do somebody unplugged.
Dean, do you know if we finish a conversation, we'll get this podcast done in 20 minutes, you know? Somebody
unplugged something. It was Anth. Sorry, yeah, we clarified that was Anth. He's fuming at me. Buried some goals past him this morning. Said that his
on the wind up in here today.
Mate, if I was watching this, honestly, if I was listening to this podcast, I'd be asleep by now.
Ouch. And it was his leaving party, so Dommy Smith,
because he's leaving, Smith,
I
guess.
Yeah. Dummy Smith, Loose Days OG.
Yeah.
Loose Days Hall of Famer.
Right.
Been with us since 2016.
Have you actually got a Hall of Fame? Have you actually got photos on the wall, or have you got a special jacket that you get given? Or
I think we should introduce that though, shouldn't we? Dummy Smith, he was one of the OGs in 2016, and he's off to Canada with work, so we had a big leave and do for his, but I was obviously gutted.
Did you get him tickets for Dizzy Rascal?
For beforehand?
No, for the actual show.
No, he's gone by then. He's gone by then. That's what I was going to say.
To Canada?
Yeah, he's gone to Canada. But I did obviously I had to ring him on the Friday as soon as it was sorted.
Yeah.
I was making the phone calls that I had to make, and obviously one of them was for Dom. I was like, mate, I know it's your leaving party.
Yeah.
And I know it starts at 9.
Yeah.
But Dizzy's performing 9 till 20.
So he hadn't gone. He was actually out in town that night, and you didn't get his leaving party to come to Dizzy Rascal.
Well, all of Dizzy Rascal's crew actually came to Dom's leaving party after.
And there you go. That's nice.
So obviously Dizzy had gone home by then, but I messaged Dom and I was like, Dom, these guys are asking where to go. Sorry, no, that's a lie. I went to Aaron King. I went, Dizzy Rascal's guys are asking where to go. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should tell them to meet us after or bring that? And Aaron was like, no, we've got a bar spend we need to hit. Bring them. The more the merrier.
Where was it?
Horticulture. Upstairs in Horticulture.
Yeah.
And we did hit the bar spend, so Dom was very happy.
Excellent.
But yeah, so Dummy Smith's leave and do, which is very sad, but he's off to Canada, and it was a great night.
Dizzy Rascal, what was the last tune he did?
I can't remember.
Can you remember?
Yeah.
It was Come Dance With Me, wasn't it?
No, it was Bonkers.
That's one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, it was 100% Bonkers, because I remember, shout out the TOS boys, Kyle, Hedder and crew, and they'd basically said that they were going to do Bonkers, and then after they did Bonkers, they were going to do Bonkers again, but it was like a...
Rewind!
Yeah, it was going to be with a drop, and on the drop there was going to be confetti.
Right.
So it was 100% Bonkers.
Written by Armand Van Helden.
Right.
Often ignored for that record. Bonkers, yeah, written by Armand Van Helden. Right, so let's take a break, put the aircon on. Yes. You're going to go and pick Bethan up. Yep. We're going to just try and cool the fuck down.
Yep.
And we'll be back after this with Bethan Kershaw.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
I'm ready.
1,
Let's go.
2, 3, 4.
Oh, right, the aircon has kicked in. It's nowhere near as hot as it was before. It was getting heated between us without the aircon fully on, I think. We've got Bethan Kershaw. I'm buzzing. Alex is buzzing.
Alex is very buzzing.
Your girlfriend. She was like, Bethan's the good one.
Is that what she said?
Yeah. So I think we've got someone on from Geordie Shore.
She was like, I hope it's Bethan, she's my favourite.
And again, I have seen the text. He's not doing a million lying. He's actually done that.
Oh, so, that's cute. Tell us I thank you.
No, she'll watch it at some point.
Yeah.
Just to tell us what I've said wrong, probably.
So I guess first things first, obviously you say Geordie Shore, but you've been on a lot of things. So I guess first things first, what shows have you been on? Or is it easy to ask what haven't you been on?
No, to be fair, I haven't actually been on that many, but I've been on a few. So I've done a Bethan Weekender before I even went into Geordie Shore.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, right, if I didn't do a Bethan Weekender, I wouldn't have a clue, because I was like looking at the cameras when I was on a Bethan Weekender, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I had no clue. So then obviously I kind of had a little bit of a trial run before I went into Geordie Shore. And then, so...
How did you end up on Ibiza Weekender? How does that happen? Because, for normal people like me, I don't end up on Ibiza Weekender. I end up on a weekend in Ibiza. But how did you get scouted? How did you apply? How did that happen back in the day?
To be fair, I can't actually remember. It was that long ago. I don't know whether, I applied. I don't know if I seen something online where I applied for it or whether I got approached. I actually can't remember. I've got a brain like a sieve.
Nice.
Literally. But yeah, I mean, you either get approached, or I'm sure they do online little questionnaires and stuff like that. Then there's an interview process where you do loads of Zoom meetings and face-to-face meetings and things like that. But
or if you're Scotty T, you make him chase him around town for weeks, and then when they finally track you down in, where was it? Spy Bar. And he was like, I spoke to him for 5 minutes and he just loved us, so signed us up.
That really sounds like it was.
he was like, do you want to go on the team? He was like, nah, don't want to do it.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, because obviously in the intro as well, you guys asked how did me and Bethan meet, and I said it was 2014, 2015, wasn't it, when you came and started working for Loose. And we talked briefly, which we won't mention the story of it, but we had a very funny story of my first ever encounter of what the old real Bethan was like, and it's fun, it's hilarious. And
she was a fucking car crash.
It was the best first impression ever.
Literally, when I look back at like previous versions of myself, I'm mortified, mate. My toes curl under. I'm like, who is that? I've outgrown. I mean, I love
what would you
Ali.
What would you like? What would you title that period of your life? You'd be like the town days. What would that bit of your life be when you were like
unhinged? Literally unhinged.
Do you know what I like though? We'll go into it later, into the 75-day soft.
Right.
Right. But it's all about reading books as well. That's a big element of it as well.
Reading what?
Reading books. Oh, we're doing this again. Books or books?
Yeah.
Books or books?
Books.
Books or books?
I say books, to
You
be
say
fair.
books.
Do I say books?
You
say
go
like books.
We've had this conversation before. I've got a
Hillary
hybrid
likes
accent.
book.
Books. Read books. Because I've got a hybrid accent because I'm from Chesterley Street, but I've always played football in Middlesbrough, and then I live in Newcastle now, and I've just developed a weird accent. So
you're sort of like non-private school posh northeast? Is what I would say.
I'll take that.
That is so true.
As long as you can understand what I'm saying, then we're happy. But yeah, so when you started working for Loose back 2014-15, had you done it at Ibiza Weekender by then, or was that after?
Were you a car crash on the weekender, or had you moved out at that
I was
stage?
car crash. I was always car crash. I think I've already moved out the car crash stage over the past couple of years.
Well, congratulations. I'm still in it. Self-proclaimed. It's not water in here.
Well, that's obviously as well, actually, sorry. That's why I mentioned the books that you're reading, because obviously you're saying, what's that chapter called? I can actually imagine a Bethan
Showing off
Kershaw.
there in each, you know what I mean?
What?
Books, they've got chapters.
Books.
Oh, see what you've done there. See what
Got
you've done
titles
there.
as well.
Wow.
But I can actually imagine a Bethan Kershaw book coming in the future. Like, I'm just going to put that out there. I feel
Loads of people have said that. I wouldn't even know where to start with it, but I tell you what, if I
Chapter
did.
1.
we just start with the title.
3 hints and tips
I
there.
wouldn't even know who to like contact to even get a book out, but I would love to do one, because I tell you what, my life. Sometimes I think back my life and I think, how does nobody know about this? Like,
Well, that's why you're here today. This is what we need to get it all
I'm
out.
actually traumatised.
So,
Yeah.
Ibiza Weekender was the first one.
Yeah, so Ibiza Weekender, I don't know if I've done that before Loose or during, can't remember,
Right.
brain like Steve, do apologise. And then I've done GEORDIE Show,
Yeah.
and then I've done All
So how did that come about then? So this is
approaching a club.
Right.
Approaching a club, but then what happened is, so basically I kept getting approached, I kept getting messages, because they all had me details by now. So anyways, I kept getting messages on Instagram, things like this. So I was going for more interviews. And then the last interview, I was like, I've done these interviews 3 times now. Like, I'm not being funny, but if you don't know who I am already, it's a bit worrying. So I just said, honestly, I was like, on the last interview, I was like, listen, I'm not coming back anymore. Like, you keep getting this for interviews, but like, you're not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not doing it. And to be fair, right, there was actually that much of a chance where I wasn't going to go for this interview. I was knackered. I just finished a 12-hour shift. I was absolutely shattered from work. I had to go back home, get changed, get all spruced up. And I thought, I can't be fucking arsed. Like, I can't be arsed. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, is it really that? Is it really worth it? Like, is it? And I was knackered. And then I remember she was ringing us. The girl, she was called Amy, who was like who was trying to get us down, and she was ringing. She was like, "Please come," and I was like, "Oh." Peer pressured, because obviously I can't say no to people. So I was like, yeah, no bother. Went down, absolutely knackered, and then after that, it was just all history.
So 2 questions.
Yeah.
Where were you working and doing 12-hour shifts at this point?
I was working at the Hilton Hotel.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was working in the spa.
Woo!
Nice.
And second question, what would Bethan Kershaw be doing now if she couldn't have been asked to go for that interview?
Oh.
If that had never happened, so like if
like
reality
that. That's a very good question, that
if
one.
reality TV had never happened and it had stopped on Ibiza Weekender, what do you think might be going on now?
I think I'd probably go down like the more like aesthetic route, I would imagine, because I was already a beauty therapist anyways.
Yeah.
Now I've tried loads of different jobs, loads. I've been a stripper at one point. I didn't last very long, but I was literally a
I
stripper.
didn't know that. By the
Yeah.
way, can we also just say, what was your favourite job? Loose. It was when you were...
It actually was loose to be
There we
fair.
go.
It actually was
There
really
we go.
You're such a fucking suck up, you, eh?
Can you edit the bit where you can hear me in the background going, Loose, say Loose?
Good. Yeah, I know. I was like... yeah, so basically... Yeah, so I've done loads of different jobs. I think it was just like trying to find what I really enjoyed. I get really bored really easily. I think that's probably why I lasted quite a while in the kind of nightlife industry as well, because I was working for Loose, but then I've worked in loads of bars and things like that. But I think, probably aesthetics and stuff, just because I really enjoyed doing like the massages. I really enjoyed doing all the beauty treatments and speaking to people. I've got loads of memories from like being a beauty therapist, and sometimes I look back and I'm like, oh, like I miss it a little bit, you know, like the interactions with people. But yeah, that answers that.
I have a third question, which is nowhere near as good as Felix's second question, by the way, which really was a good question. I'm going to use that in future.
Do you want to waste your breath or not?
No, I'm going to.
Okay,
I'm going to use it in future.
Do that. You do you.
He's in a mood with us, by the way, because earlier we played football and I buried some goals past him, and I just keep telling everyone that I scored loads of goals past him, and then I answer. He's a chef as well, by the way, and then I also called his food bland.
It was dry, actually.
Called dry. Well, I called it bland to someone else after as well. So it gets worse. He's sound though. He's a nice lad. What was the club? What was the club that you and Chloe got asked to do Geordie in?
Bijou.
Yeah. Bijou. Or what did you call it last week?
Bijou.
You know actually when it was?
Bijou.
It was Bijou, and I think we were going to work to yours after as well. I'm sure it was like basically we were having a couple of drinks before we started work.
Yeah.
I think, unless it was the one before.
Because Bijou was the spot, wasn't it? For like they used to talent search there, didn't they?
Is it still the spot?
It's closed at the minute. It's closed at the minute. Yeah, but I tell you what. Obviously, back then,
a fucking burger restaurant or something.
No, there's one further towards the roundabout that's Bijou Burger, but Bijou itself is closed and rebranded by Felix as Boujou, which I do like.
I prefer
but now what it is, there used to be like loads of talent scouts for like the reality shows, but now you get loads of talent scouts about for the modelling, don't you? We get asked that quite a bit. Or can we do some talent scouting at like the festival or the events for some modelling ones? That seems to be the go-to nowadays.
What was your third question?
No, that was my question added to yours. I just want to know
whereabouts,
what club it was. I was just curious.
And then so you've done 4 series of Geordie Shaw.
I think so.
He's done his research, hasn't he?
I
like
so,
that.
Yeah.
Where like, so I asked Scotty if you like live full time in the house while it's filming. Was it the same house that you lived in every time on the series as that you did?
Yeah.
And where are you allowed to say where it is?
Probably not.
So go on then. Was it up by, you know, the Hancock in Newcastle, the Hancock pub and the Hancock Museum? Was it up on like a big road?
Where the Hancock Museum is.
That was the original house.
Ah, right.
I believe the other one's Sandy Fadway.
And do they make it look like it? But they make it look like it's like in an industrial unit or something.
No, that's the second one.
Ah, right, okay.
The first ones were like the flats behind the Hancock pub.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. That was where the first one was.
I was never there. I didn't need my passport. I was never there. I read about that before.
And then you went. And then what else have you? So you've done Celebs Go Dating.
Yeah, I've done Celebs Go Dating, and then
have you done that more than once?
No, I've just done that once.
I always remember. How recent was that one?
Like literally last year.
I was going to say that's why I was. Because I was going to say I remember when you did that. That was all over like Instagram. Everyone was sharing.
I was blonde back then though. I've dyed my hair this year, so I'm like. Brunette.
Is that why Geordie Shaw got confused originally and they kept inviting you back in? Did you have different hairstyles or something?
No.
Did they fall for that? Seems like it. Got good crap with a different colour hair.
Is there any shows you've turned down? Is there any shows you've been like offered or asked to go on and you have decided to politely pass? You ever been offered like The Jungle or Strictly or anything like?
No, but I mean The Jungle, I don't know if I would cope well.
Like the eating the eyeballs and
not even just the eating the eyeballs. I think even just day to day, like being in the jungle in spiders roaming around.
Too
I think
much
I'd be
ick.
Mortified. Absolutely mortified. Like my cortisol levels would be high, and I would not enjoy.
How long are they in the jungle for?
Fucking ages.
Like how long do we know?
I don't know.
Because if it was 75 days, that would be you could do the 75 soft.
So what is right? Come on, let's get it over and fucking
you want
done
me
with.
To ask the question?
What is 75 soft?
Hold on, let me ask. What is 75 soft? There we go.
So basically, it's just like a wellness challenge that I'm doing at the minute. Now, it's not something like I've made up. It's something that's already been.
Someone else made it up.
Someone else made it up, and I've just kind of made it my own. So like, with the 75-day soft challenge, you meant to like basically stick to the 75 days and you're meant to tick off everything that you set yourself to do.
Right.
So it's like workout, meditate, sleep 8 hours.
I thought it was 75 days of soft foods. That's what I was thinking. I was like, it's a lot of boiled eggs and bread.
Like
That's what I was
like
thinking.
when you first said 75 days soft, I was thinking there's like a diet thing.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's more like, is it more like a list of 75 things that you want to achieve?
is it like 75 days like manifesting basically? Like, are you doing
So
that,
it's
or is it like tasks?
So basically, it's like 75 days of like completing tasks that you set yourself, but the tasks are like wellness.
Okay.
Right.
And it's kind of so, but basically, like, so I just found out like a couple of weeks into the challenge, and it was like, if you don't tick off something, you're meant to start from day one.
You're
again.
kidding.
Well,
I got that time for that.
Well, this is what I mean. I personally found that.
Imagine you're on
really-
day 74. You're like fucking having a laugh.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean.
I didn't meditate a day.
It really probably puts like it probably makes you very like disciplined.
Right.
But no.
Do you know what makes you disciplined? Joining the army. But you're not going to be doing that, are you?
What?
You're not going to be joining the army.
Do I look like the type of
Exactly. Well, that makes you disciplined.
Do I look like I wouldn't do anything?
Right, I was confused before we started recording and you said it. In fact, I had to spell the word out. I was so confused. What's the soft got to do with it? Like, what has the 75 soft got to do with 75 days of
Okay, so
wellness?
basically there's a 75 hard challenge, right?
Right.
And this is
that
like,
harder than the soft one?
Clearly. Ding, ding, ding. Light bulbs just went off. Perfect.
By the way, you can't make jokes about light bulbs going off because it's that hot in here. They have a few times and we have to keep restarting.
Really?
It's like the 75 soft, but every time, the lights are well, Bethan, we're going to do it all again.
Yeah, so basically the 75 hard challenge, I think it was set up like in lockdown. I can't remember who set it up, but basically it was where you had to do like 2 45-minute workouts. You had to drink so much water.
Wasn't that fucking what's he called, Joel? Who was that guy that was everywhere in lockdown? Yeah, was it Joel Wicks?
No,
Did he start
it
it?
wasn't
He was
Joel
just
Wicks.
dancing with bands.
I love Joel Wicks. Oh, me heart. Anyway, so then the 75 soft is more like it's less challenging, basically.
Got yeah.
So is it more about like peace of mind? The
I
soft
think
one,
so. Like it's
So
it's
what have
more
you
kind of
done today? What has been your one thing that you've done today as part of the 75 soft?
Go on a mental health walk.
Nice. Where did you go?
I just walked around my house.
Right.
But it's like where I live, it's like quite countryside-ish. Like you've seen it, like Dean came and picked us up before, and it's like it's quite like there's loads of fields, there's loads of nature. So yeah.
So I've got a dog, right? And I take my dog for a walk every day. I reckon I could nail this 75 soft like a piece of piss.
Try it.
Yeah. I just call every single day a mental health walk. I'd be like,
you're not allowed to take the dog to a beer garden and drink any beer. And you're like, okay, that's it. I'm starting again.
in the red kite. Oh.
So also the question is, how many days in are you?
I've got it on my phone.
And have you had to restart it? Mine's just like a video game.
Well, I haven't restarted.
Like-
I haven't restarted it. I totally I scrapped that, like whatever that was, because I thought it was really counterproductive. Because I thought, imagine, like, because I'm calorie counting at the minute. So imagine if I go over my calories by 10, you're telling me that if I'm on day 45, I've got to start from the beginning.
I feel like I'm getting shouted at here. I didn't come up with the 75 soft.
I know. No way. Let's have.
Have you got an app? Tell me there's an app.
No, I haven't got an app. I've just put it in me.
Why you should build a 75-day soft app. That could be the Bethan Kershaw 75-day soft app.
Then I'll be stealing somebody else's thing because it's not.
Does
my
it's not
app.
stop loads of other people?
I mean, true.
Do you think Dean was the first person to run nightclubs?
Yes. I am that old.
Yeah, I'm on week 4 and I'm the second day in today.
Okay.
Nice. You've confused me now with days and weeks. That's
30
totally
days.
like throwing me out.
30 days.
Some months.
31.
Oh no, you're on week 4.
I'm on week 4.
Also 23.
I don't
So-
know. I've
yeah,
only got
23,
the date.
23.
So you mentioned Joe Wicks,
Yeah,
right?
you've done 3
Yeah.
weeks. You're on week 4 and you're 2 days in. 23.
Well done.
Quick
Maths with Dean.
But again, follow on from a previous episode. That's where that B-Tech came in handy. Didn't do maths like, but...
So you mentioned Joe Wicks, your heart. Who's the most famous person that you've met that's just been like the lushest ever? Like and you've met someone and they've just been like over the moon, amazing, and you've been like, do you know what? They are literally one of the greatest people I've ever met. I mean, you could answer Joe Wicks if you've met him.
I've never met
No!
I'm trying to think. I'm not very good at like on the spot stuff. I'm not going to lie.
Do you know, like surprising that you've met, like surprising, like, you know, like really famous and they've bumped into them somewhere, or like, you know, you've been filming something and you didn't kind of expect to see them? Is that like something that's happened to you?
Well, you look like you're thinking. What about you, Anth, in the meantime? What about you?
You could list all the people you've warmed up for as a DJ.
Well, a private chef for Dwayne Johnson for 6 weeks.
The Rock.
That's pretty... I'm not beating that. Like,
That's incredible. Did you meet him?
Met him only once.
Right.
Just once. It was when he was doing Fast and the Furious 4.
Was he putting on weight while you were cooking for him, or was he losing
Well,
weight?
the best part about it was, so I just got told I was cooking for a guy called DJ, who was a bodybuilder.
Right.
Can we get The Rock
Right.
on the
That was
podcast?
it.
Can you do it, Andy?
That's all. Be stupid. That's all I got told. And then, so obviously done his meals, but like his meals were, he used to eat 7 times a day.
Amazing.
First meal was 4:15 in the morning, which was a 10 egg omelette and a 20
Did he just wake up, have that, and go back to sleep?
No, so you...
That's what I would do.
You like
I could do that. If you had it ready for us in Spot White, I could do that. Like,
That's not waking up.
No, he like sets his
I don't know,
day
I
apart. So
fall
like
asleep when I'm
you'll get up at like 4:15. 4 you'll eat, go to the gym, eat, nap, film, eat, gym, and like moves on from there.
Even
So it's like 3 weeks
you
ago.
explaining his regime is tiring. I'm knackered just listening to it.
Cheat days are like something.
did you see last year when he did
Like-
when he was in a music video? He was actually in the song. He did like a
Yeah.
rap in one of the songs.
Yeah.
Is there anything The Rock can't do?
I love The Rock, mate. I love him so much.
But we
you can just see how much of a heart of gold he's got, isn't it?
But we grew up. I mean, I'm not suggesting you watched WWE when you grew up. I'm also not suggesting you didn't. If you did, you did. But like, we grew up with like The Rock was like. He was the king, wasn't he, when you were growing up watching the wrestling?
I was always a Stone Cold guy, but
Really?
Rock was there.
But I
Bret
feel
the
like,
Hitman Hart for me.
really, I grew up watching The Rock in WWE, and I loved him, and then see him in all the movies now. And like you say, he just seems like an absolute legend, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So obviously, sorry, the question originally was for you. So who?
To be
who do you
honest, I
think?
don't actually know. I haven't really met a lot of people. I feel like I'm quite a home bird. I don't really get out. I don't really get out. But I think not met, but I think the most like someone who I really, really look up to, who I absolutely loved, is Dr. Joe Dispenza. Have you heard of him?
No.
You're
gonna tell us though.
Yeah, so he's basically he's like a neuroscientist kind of guy, and he basically does all these wellness kind of workshops and stuff all over the world, all over the country, just everywhere. And he basically, he's just really, really into meditation and stuff.
Okay.
And I feel like he's changed my life. I'm not gonna lie. I think he was one of the first people that I kind of discovered on social media when I was going through my spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
And kind of trying to come back into consciousness and stuff like that. So you probably haven't got a fucking clue what I'm talking about. I'm not really rambling on, but yeah, Dr. Joe Dispenza for me. I think he's
And have you met him?
no, I haven't met him. No. But he does do workshops.
Get it sorted.
And stuff.
Get it sorted.
I know.
Put the word out.
Is he American? Is he British? What's
He
he
is
do?
American, yeah.
Right. So when we have to DM, try and get him on.
Still never been to America. Said in the first podcast, I need to get that booked.
I think you'd have mentioned it.
You get a what?
Do you know what I
I
mean?
need to get it booked at some point. Oh, sorry. I need to get it booked at some point. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot what did you say it was? Half private school, half GEORDIE or whatever.
I don't even know anymore, mate.
Does it just change? This is my aim. I said it at the beginning of the podcast, as in when we first started doing it, I was like, I need to get America booked at some point. Well, I said booked.
Have you been to America?
I went to LA, and to be honest, right?
Work or pleasure?
Pleasure.
Ooh.
Well, both. But I didn't rate it, I
Really?
mean,
Okay.
I've heard mixed views, but personally for me, I felt like it was a really low vibrational country. I was like, what?
Whoa. What is a low? What does that mean? Low
Just
vibrational?
it felt really eerie when I was there.
Okay.
I was in LA, right, and then I went to obviously the Hollywood street, whatever, and I'm expecting flashing lights, red carpets, famous people.
just not,
It's
is it?
absolutely not like that. There was literally there was so many homeless people. It was just it just was not what I expected at all.
It's a proper lost soul city, isn't it?
It is,
the Hollywood
yeah.
Walk of Fame for me was just the weirdest thing where you start where the cinemas and everything are, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
walking down you're
Kodak.
it's
Yeah.
fucking Tom Hanks, it's such and such and such and such. Then it gets to Bob somebody and you're like, who the fuck's that? And you look to your left and it's just a sex shop. Yeah. And you're like, how
it's
is that
just
happened?
so random.
Yeah. How many times have you been?
I've done it 3 times.
3 times.
I've done LA and Vegas 3 times, but we go for a completely different reason. We go to the old rock and roll metal places.
I am going to jump in for 2 seconds. Previous episode with MC Tazo, I heard a noise at one of the cameras, but I didn't realise it was one of the cameras. I thought Tazo had left his phone on, so I didn't say anything, and the camera went off. I've just heard that same noise. I'm just going to mention it just to
It
check
sounded
the
like
camera.
an Alexa thing, when you say...
They're all still on, so we'll crack on.
Okay,
good, we're good,
just
good.
learning from our mistakes last time.
course.
I thought I would mention. But favourite holiday destination then, if it's not America?
Favourite. Oh! I've got so many. I would say I love Thailand. I just love the vibes.
You've been there.
Tulum as well. Tulum in
Israel?
No, where is it?
Tulum's where they do loads of like big techno parties and stuff, don't they? With like
yeah, it was. Oh my god, that was insane. Dubai, love Dubai. Greece, loved Greece. There's so many. I just love traveling.
Where did you go in Thailand then?
Phuket.
Yeah.
But I went there was like a couple of islands you can go to.
So I think you were down that other side. I've been where like Koh Samui and Koh Phangan and stuff like. I've been on that side, and I think Phuket's down like the west side of it. But yeah, Thailand's insane. Like I remember we went to you landed in Bangkok. It's crazy driving into. Because did you fly into Bangkok or did you fly direct into Phuket?
Oh no, fly straight back in. Fly
into
straight
Phuket. Yeah, because we went into like Bangkok, and it's crazy when you're going like into Bangkok from the airport because there's that thing of like the change between pure poverty with people living underneath the flyovers and everything else in tents, and then like huge 5-star hotels and everything else. We got like an overnight train from Bangkok down, and then got the boat over to like Koh Phangan and everything. Yeah, it's amazing. Love a bit of Thailand. What is your biggest fear, Bethan? And let's go for your biggest fear now. In this state, in this like new awakened meditating 75 day soft. And then maybe what was your biggest fear when you were working for Loose Days? having to go home.
Having a conversation with you. Shout out Emilio. I'm only joking, mate.
I think biggest fear now,
yeah.
It's going to sound like really thingy, but I think it's like losing myself.
Okay.
I think like over the course of my life, there's been so many like realizations where I've completely lost who I am as a human being. Just with like industry or like boys or like certain social dynamics, social groups. And I think now it's like, I really want to just stay true to myself in like saying no when I mean no. Do you know what I mean? Like instead of saying yes to people, please the people around us. Because then I realised that these people.
There's all sorts of alarm bells going off in my head, by the way, because you're like naming all these things. I'm like, I do that. I'm really worried about my social group. I say yes when I mean no. Yeah, I'm really worried that I've lost myself.
People pleaser.
And what do you think you were scared of when you were like in that period where unhinged car crash?
To be fair, I don't even think I was scared. I was just being a car crash.
No fear.
Nah,
you were just committed.
Well, I look back now and I'm terrified of myself back then. Like if I met me back then now, oh my god, I'd be terrified. I'd be petrified.
How would Bethan now help Bethan then? No help. But you can't say that. You can't say that because you've saved yourself. You found yourself.
Yeah, true.
So how do you think you might go? But if someone is watching this and they identify with the town car crash era, what sort of things might they do to find themselves?
I think just kind of like looking after yourself. I think I think for me, I was always like suppressing who I was. And I feel like I've never fully felt like I've fitted in anywhere. Okay. And I know that sounds crazy, like when you like look at me past and you look at this, I've genuinely always felt like I've been suppressing myself. So I think if I was to have a conversation with her now, it would just be like, just be yourself.
Would she listen?
Here's one for you.
No, she wouldn't. This is what I mean, there's knee help with her.
Previous Bethan, how many days of the 75 soft would she get through?
She wouldn't even know what it is.
Should be 75 days high. That'd be a really easy challenge. Nailed it.
She wouldn't give a shit about the 75 days soft. She would literally look at us and go, "You're a freak." Like you're a freak. I'm gonna get more.
So going back to like the Geordie Shore days, what was the I mean, because we've had a Scotty T. I mean, he is a one-off, but we've had his like perspective of it. And so for your perspective of it, like what was kind of like the worst thing about it? What was the thing that at the time you found difficult, or what was the thing at the time that you were like, you know what I mean? You just found it a really challenging aspect of being on Geordie Shore?
I mean, there's a few things. I think one of the things that I was like, which was really irritating, is how long you've got to like wait in Ubers and taxis and things like that for the cameras to get set up, and you didn't know what time it is.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but like, you went, how long you have to wait, and then before you carried on speaking, I just saw him look at me as if like, keep him waiting.
I was actually checking if the camera was still on.
Okay.
But you have wasted hours of my life.
I mean, to be fair, Even
and
the
continues to do so.
We told Bethan we'd pick her up at
4:15. Came to mind at 5:15.
You've got
it wasn't that bad.
You've got off lightly there, Bethan. Let me tell you.
That's good.
Sorry, I've interrupted. I just thought I was getting daggers as soon as you went half the way.
Yeah.
So wait, so kind of because people don't realise that, do they? Like the kind of the hurry up and wait thing. Like how much time?
It's like a really very on-off process. Like 1 minute you're kind of like sitting in an Uber waiting. Could be there for 3 hours. Who knows? Who knows how long you've been waiting in the Uber?
And what are you waiting for? Are they setting up something inside? Are they like
setting up the cameras?
Right.
Like people might go on their dinner breaks. Like I don't know. I'm sitting in a taxi. I don't know what's going on.
Are you allowed on your phone when you're in the Uber, or are you literally just sitting?
Nah, I think they're a bit more lenient now,
Right.
but like when I was on, it wasn't like you weren't really on your phone.
Yeah, because Scotty mentioned that they never had the phone. So what are you doing when you're sitting waiting? Is there other people there to chat to?
Well, yeah, there's people to talk to, but I mean, you're literally you're like looking out the windows.
But you're with them 24/7, aren't you? You've chatted to them all fucking day, all fucking night.
I mean, yeah. So that's an irritant, and I don't think people like realise that.
That would drive me fucking insane.
Yeah, there's a lot worse things. I mean, there's a lot worse things, but I just think it's because you're sitting there just twiddling your thumbs. What we're doing? What's going on? Like, and that's
they're not knowing,
and you don't know, and they can't tell you either because it's all like. Obviously, your cast, you don't get to know what goes on behind the scenes. So that's that. But I think also as well for me now, like being kind of who I am now, it's the very fast pace and then switching. You've got to switch on and off. High energy when you're fucking slumped because you've been sat in a taxi for 45 minutes. You sat there like this, and then it's like, right, camera's like, high energy, and you've got to pump yourself up like quickly.
How long did it take? So you left the Big Brother house, right? At the not Big Brother. So you left the. We can do that if you want. We can just talk about it. You left the Geordie Shore house. How long from like leaving the house and the filming process being over to it going on the TV and coming out?
Months.
Really?
Months. Literally months.
I mean,
I can't tell you exactly dates, but roughly about, I would have said about 6 to 7 months, maybe even more.
Makes our podcast turnaround very impressive.
Did it ever get this stage when, like, obviously when you've got that 6-7 month gap because of like how quickly like certain people like change fashion or like change hairstyles or change anything? Was there ever a stage where like you record it and then like 6 months down the line you're like, what the fuck was I wearing that for? Or why the fuck did I have my makeup like that? Or why was my hair like that? Or
to be fair, I don't really pick myself apart like that anymore. Like I just think I look back at my fashion and go, oh god, I was a right whore. But like I just it just is what it is. Like that was just a version of me. Like I don't really care. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's annoying, especially when you go through like things that are like difficult situations, because it's getting brought up like 6 months down the line where you've either made up or you've fell out, and it's like it's annoying. But I suppose like you leave the house, you leave the filming process, which is like a big chunk of the process, but then you're back every week for like a few months as well doing green screen, so you don't completely stop filming, but you stop the intense filming where you're like in the house.
So all those bits where like Scotty's like, and then we were in Tucked Up and I fucking that's all like months after, like when it's been edited and you're doing the green screen stuff. So
then the editing process, so that like that editing it all you know, like in
sequence
or whatever. So that's basically what it is. And sometimes you'll do like pick up lines, so you'll be doing lines from like right back in the beginning of the show, and then it's like, oh, you have to redo this line because I said it wrong or something. Like, I don't know, like, so basically like that's the it takes a while.
And how, like, when you finished filming, take it you had like a party at the end or whatever, like, how can you remember how it felt going back to like just your house? Like going back to just home.
I loved it. I loved getting out of there. I think by that time, especially because I used to drink a lot when I was filming, like I just used to, you're in the environment, it's very difficult to not drink when you're in a drinking environment. So I used to love it. I used to be like, oh my god, get us home. Got home, throat was gone because I'd been drinking and screaming that much, couldn't speak, had no voice, and I would just be lying in my bed like, I don't ever want to go back. But I think when you finish the filming, it's nice to get home. You feel good. You were
talking about the green screen stuff. This is something that I think would kill Dean. Do you have any control over the edit, can you ever go back in and be like, I don't want that bit shown, or like, I don't like the way I look there?
Are you saying I'm particular?
Or my hair's out of place, or I got that line wrong. Can you change anything in the edit?
Oh no, you've got no control of the edit. But like, if
I literally get a message from me. I'm like, Felix, I need this changing on that. I need this shit. He hates me. He didn't even respond there, which proves he does.
Yeah, I think, like, obviously if there's something that you're really concerned about, like, because naturally when you're filming, I don't care what anyone says, you're monitoring the cameras, you're thinking about what you're saying, and then sometimes you'll say some things, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that, oh my God. So, like, you really put a lot of pressure on yourself, do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people watching you, and there's a lot of scrutiny from it as well. Like, you can literally put 1 foot out of line wrong, and you fucked it, mate. You fucked it. So, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's scary because of, like, how many people are going to say it, do you know what I mean? So, it's, I mean...
Yeah, but we even talked on the way over in the car and we were saying, like, we don't need to go into the ins and outs of it, but I was saying, like, some things that happen, you still get shit, even if you're not to blame. So, like you say, when it's that, and it's like, if you did something that upsets one person, people can jump on it, can't you?
Well, exactly, and I think that's the thing with, like, especially social media. I think it's more of a social media thing, because if you didn't have social media, you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the worry, because obviously back in the days when they didn't have social media and they were doing Big Brother and there was all these, Britney Spears was famous and all these, like, they never had this, like, proper scrutiny apart from, like, the media, like the papers and things like that. You don't have to buy a paper, but, like, social media, this is your platform, this is where you're, like, expressing your creativity, and then you've got some little arsehole coming on telling me how to live my life, like, and it's, I think when you get a lot of it, luckily, like, I haven't had it too bad, like, I actually don't feel like I've had it, I mean, I might have, unless I've just, like, blocked it out, traumatised, blocked it out, but I don't personally feel like I've had it that bad, like, I feel like I've kind of been okay in that sense, but sometimes I get, like, comments and I just think, oh, I'd love to wring your neck. Like, that's literally what I think. But
I was saying to the guys before when we were talking about you coming in, I was saying, like, you look at Bethan's, like, social media, like, you're very, very popular and you're very, very loved. Like, when you put... No, you are. Like, when you put stuff on. I mean, look at Ant's missus. Like, but you know what I mean? Like, when you're putting stuff on, everyone's always dead supportive and, like, complimentary of you, I think. So you've obviously... put yourself across very well in all the stuff you've done.
Yeah,
again, they didn't know you back in 2014 and 2015 when I knew you. It would be different.
I was just a kid though, wasn't I? Like, I'm nearly 30 now. Like, you just grow up, don't you? Like, you look back and if you think about it, all the things that you do, like as a kid, you try and you experiment things. You're totally unconscious. You're doing daft shit.
Well, we know you're getting older because the other day, Bethan. I mean, it's a taste of my own medicine. Bethan took 2 days to reply to me. And I was thinking, what have I done? Have I upset her yet? And she went, sorry, Dean.
How you get upset about things that you do to every fucker else.
Like, I know, I literally like,
honestly, there's a good one, right? So
here we go.
Playing football at 12:30.
Yeah.
We're kicked off at 1:20.
Yeah.
Right?
Why was that?
Because fucking, to be fair, Cristiano was the latest today, right? But then, obviously, in the changing rooms, I was like, gotta go and do the pod. I'm not gonna get a chance to go home and get showered wherever else. I'll have a shower there.
Yeah.
So get showered, dries myself off, gets changed, comes out of the building. I was like, fuck, I've got like half an hour to get into town. Comes out, he's still sat in his fucking car on his phone.
So 2 things with that. One, team player. I wanted to wait for Anth to come. I just thought,
I was like, oh, he's still young. Give us a lifty when he couldn't get the window up fast enough.
No, but I was literally doing phone calls and messages, and obviously because we're playing football, like my phone's gone like that. You know what it's like if you're off your phone for an hour.
I don't, because I have no friends, man.
So like when you play football for an hour, your phone's gone like that. So like obviously I can do phone calls while I'm driving, or I can do a couple of voice notes there, but like the majority of it's replying and catching up on all the chats. So that's genuinely why I was sitting waiting with that. Going back on, I've even lost where we're at. Oh yeah, so Bethan took 2 days to reply, and I was like, what have I done here? And she said, I'm really sorry, I was that hungover, I didn't go on my phone for that
like,
long.
Literally, oh my God.
Like, where were you?
What do you mean, where was I?
Where were you drinking?
You go.
Oh,
where were you?
I was in Is it Ivica?
Yeah.
Novello?
Nice.
Yeah.
Because the hangovers hurt when we get older, don't we?
Oh my god! Like I'm actually trying to I'm dipping in and out of sobriety, mate. Like I'm trying to actually.
So am I. I mean, I'm 2 days clean. What do you mean dipping in and out? We're all dipping in and out.
I was well going. She would quickly go to freight and have a pint while waiting for Dean to be better.
No, but like purposely, like I'm purposely trying to like explore.
I purposely try as well.
You're purposely trying. Yeah, I'm basically trying to like try and be sober now. It is like quite a difficult thing when it's been such a big part of my life. And sometimes I miss it. Like it's escapism, isn't it? Sometimes you just don't want to feel your emotions all the time.
Yeah.
Especially as a woman. So, but yeah, honestly, oh my god, when I say it to you, I thought I was going to die, man. Like I didn't even. Well, actually, I was drinking for like 12 hours. To be fair. I was like,
But you were literally going to say, I didn't even drink that much. Fuck. Actually, I've just thought about it.
It was a bottomless brunch. I mean, it wasn't a 12-hour bottomless brunch, but imagine
you made it one.
But yeah, I'd done a bottomless brunch, and I mean, they were rolling them out, and I hadn't even finished the first one. They're bringing another one out, so I couldn't even tell you how many drinks I'd actually drank. So yeah, it was.
So for someone who's battling with sobriety, was it a special occasion or was it just Saturday?
It was kind of a special occasion. Like my friend got like a good, like some good news, so then we just went out. It was just me and her, so it was quite.
And then how
nice.
does someone like yourself who's into wellness and 75 days, how do you cope with a hangover from hell?
You just have to like.
By not replying to Dean.
No, definitely not going on your phone. 100%. Just try not to go on your phone, drink as much water as you can. It's a bit of a difficult one because like, I was severely ill where I couldn't fucking move. I couldn't do anything to help myself.
Severely ill?
Yeah, I was severely like unwell. I was like, yeah.
What are you two like for hangovers?
I just crack the fuck on me, honestly.
Yeah,
but
you just crack the next can open.
Are you one of them hair of the dog?
No, God, no. Fuck no.
Are you?
God, no.
No, not normally, but honestly, like that is the deal. Like you just got to crack on.
I feel like you haven't had a severe hangover. You couldn't have.
I feel like you don't know me.
No, honestly, because like, I could not move. I was literally like, I was shaking. I was being sick. I was ill.
See, I never get like sick on a hangover. I just get fucking moody. Like my lass hates it because I'll just be silent, me, and then I'll like see something, like I'll go in the kitchen, I'll be like, oh God, I'm gonna have to fucking clean the hobs or something. So I'll like go in this like mood of like scrubbing. She'll be like, my lass just dies on hangover. She'll be sat there and just fucking sit down and stop making noise.
I have a sit down shower. That's like my.
Oh, I love a sit down shower. Have you ever put a chair in the shower and sit on the chair? Well, treat yourself, Dean. Treat yourself.
Are you ready, Anth? Hasn't had a shower in a while. Well, back last year when I broke my ankle.
Right.
Well, it was the only shower. I have a little. I get a little shower stool for my ankle.
Shower stool.
Well, I did because I broke my ankle, so I couldn't stand up. Obviously, I had my.
It's still there now. Is it still there now?
No. But
have you sat on it hungover though?
Be there for me still. Like,
oh no, 100%. I sit on the floor. Like, I literally sit on the floor.
Is this like in a cubicle?
I do. Lost in High School Musical. So I don't even. You was laughing. That was not a joke. I do. It's like it's my go-to playlist when I'm hungover.
See, I used to like. You're talking about like a shower cubicle, aren't you?
Yeah.
And like back in the day in my lesser studenty like places, I used to like what like a college shower bath. You know, like when you've just got the shower that's over your bath. So you'd get in. Like run the hot water, put the plug in, and then put the shower on. So you'd like be sitting there, and you'd be getting the warmth, the goodness of the warmth filling up, but then the shower on your head, and you'd just be like,
yes.
dying.
That actually sounds really good.
Yeah, it's real fun.
Next time you're hungover, there you go.
So what are you doing? So like what, like everything you've explained about the person that you like are now doesn't sound like the sort of person who's going to be going back to those kind of times. So what are you doing now? Like what's on the agenda? Where are people going to see you? Like what are you going to be doing? Like what is your like
what's in store next?
Yeah, because you must be the sort of person who's got like a 5 and 10 year plan with the whole wellness and everything else. So like let us in. What's going on?
I'm telling you, she's going to write a book. I'm telling you.
What?
A book. She's going to write a book. She's going to write a book.
Yeah. So I think like now I'm really into like psychology. I'm really into like neuroscience and stuff like that, and like holistic therapies as well. Breath work, meditation, ice baths, all of that. Like I thrive. That's what I like really want to do. So I'm studying at the minute, as well as like obviously doing my content creation on social media.
Yeah. So where are you studying?
Yeah,
how are you studying?
Online. It's it's an online course. I'm doing it online, which is ideal because you can stop it and start it. Well, actually, it's not ideal because I'm literally like I'm dragging it out so long. But yes, I'm doing like holistic stuff at the minute, like holistic coaching, and basically I'm going to be like a life coach. I think like I feel like, I've really, really turned my life around, because if you look at, like, kind of like Geordie Show and, like, TV, everyone aspires to be it. They all want to be on TV and be rich and famous and stuff, when I think, like, happiness is really kind of... It's like, it's different for people, do you know what I mean? And I think personally for me, it's healing my nervous system, and being in a calm state is what is, like, important to me, and kind of understanding that you can be as famous or as rich and you can still be very, very unhappy. So, like, that's kind of where I'm coming from. It's like I've turned my life around from being this party girl, this, I don't know, this, like, just crazy, unhinged human being, right, to this more, like, holistic and very, like, self-aware and aware of me surroundings and aware of, like, how I have an impact on other people's lives, and, like, kind of, so, like, I want to go more down that, you know, like...
How do you think you could coach Dean's life?
He's fucked.
Bethan Kershaw. So who will know?
He's been in the industry now for over a decade.
So who will hear an exclusive of the story of mine and Bethan's first encounter?
Yeah, let's go.
Did you see you were taking her home as well?
Well, she's walking home now. She's walking home now. I hope walking home's on the agenda for the 75-day song.
Don't be nasty, Dean. Don't.
I won't. I can never be nasty.
Doesn't suit you, mate. It doesn't suit you.
We've been friends too long.
Do you think you'd be interested?
Do you think I'm fucked?
No, I'm joking. I'm actually joking. No, I think I would be a really good coach for me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Are you a good coach or are you a miracle worker? Could you get me to start being on time?
Stop being on time?
Yeah. Could you make me start being on time?
Do you use a calendar?
I do use a calendar, yes.
Do you, like, time slot it, though? Do you time slot everything?
Yes, and I don't follow it.
Bethan, ask him what time it is on his watch.
On the watch?
Ask him what time it is on his watch.
On the watch.
6:10.
No, you've just looked at your phone.
I know my watch is wrong. I know. I need to sort it. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Right, have we got a bit of loose advice?
Oh yeah, we do have some loose advice.
Can I play my... Bethan's not going to be able to hear how bad it is, which is definitely for the positive. Can I play my awful AI jingle?
Go for it.
Loose advice.
Listen to him.
It's a giggle. It's a giggle.
You'll hear it on the episode.
Basically, it's an awful bit of AI jingle that we've created, saying it's loose advice, it's just a giggle, don't take it to heart. So, let's go.
So, and I actually have got it on my phone this time because obviously we had to do a couple of recordings for the intro of the last episode with Matt Reid. Shout out Matt Reid. And obviously I read the loose advice originally, and then by the second recording I already knew what the loose advice was, so I wasn't really paying attention, but for effect I was holding my phone, and Felix decided to call me out on the fact that my phone had gone off and I was just reading a blank screen.
Black Mirror.
Stay in character and keep it consistent.
So we looked, you went, so? It was like, yeah, come on.
But this I actually have read
Right.
So we get a bit of loose advice. We get asked for some loose advice. So someone will send in a question or something they need a bit of advice, and then we'll all give them a bit of advice. So this section for loose advice. So, hi Dean. As you know,
We'll just go fuck with it.
send it to me.
Right.
Okay, sorry. Hi Dean, Felix, Anth and Bethan.
Thank you very much.
That's all we needed. It's all we needed.
As you know, I've recently moved in with my girlfriend. Everything's going great. However, the other day, I walked into the bathroom to ask her something. As I walked in, she was brushing her teeth with my toothbrush.
Oh.
A, do you think this is acceptable? And B, how the hell should I react, and what happens next?
Right, well, I'm going to take this one first, because I always think it's acceptable to use my girlfriend Joe's toothbrush, and she's like, you are not using my toothbrush. Went to Edinburgh last weekend, and she was like, you pack your toothbrush? I was like, have you? She was like, yep. I was like, I don't need you then. And she was like, no, you are not using mine.
So you're okay with sharing?
Look, I'm okay with sharing hers. She's a very clean person. I'm okay with using hers. I wouldn't be okay with using someone else's, but I'm okay with using Joe's. I kiss her. It's all fine. We can share a toothbrush. She's very anti it, though.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's okay.
Okay. And
That freaks me out. That freaks me out.
Would you borrow Alex's?
If I didn't have one at that time, but I wouldn't just walk in the bathroom again. I can see mine, but I'm going to fuck with hers.
Right. Would you lend Alex yours?
If she needed it, yeah. I'd rather walk that and that's our fucking morning breath all day. I'm pretty sure I should want to use mine if that was a case.
Bethan,
No,
any advice?
I feel like that's like the same. I think if there's like a reason as to why they're using it. So, for instance, if you forgot your
Like you couldn't be asked to pack your own.
Like, well, not couldn't be asked. It's a bit different, but yeah, like if you forget it or something. But yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, unless they've got fucking gum disease or something. Bleeding gums. If you've got bleeding gums or gum disease, no, probably not.
So,
Dean, have you ever used anyone else's toothbrush?
absolutely, categorically not.
Right.
I would never.
Do you even brush those? Are they like self-cleaning?
It's just you just take them out and put them in a glass of bleach, mate.
First of all, as established in previous episodes, these teeth are natural. Thank you very much. Second of all, they are not self-cleaning. I do have to clean them.
Right.
You think
How many times a day?
You thought it was self-parking before, didn't you?
How many times a day do you clean your teeth?
Twice.
Is that all?
Yeah. Is that bad?
If you-
Maybe you
Morning,
pick my
night.
teeth as well. See if I've got any fluff. You know?
Hold on, that's the norm, isn't it? Brushing in the morning.
Who would you let in an emergency situation? Who do you like enough to lend your toothbrush to after you've used it and you don't have to ever use it again?
Oh, anyone could do that. Well, as I was going to say before, I would categorically never use anyone else's toothbrush.
Right.
I would be okay with someone using my toothbrush. However, it would be immediately converted to their toothbrush and I would replace it with a new one. I'm not stingy.
Well, hang on a minute. So if you're telling me that you go away on a weekend trip with a girl, right? And you're in the middle of nowhere, there's absolutely
I thought you were going to say something else.
No, you're in the middle of nowhere, you're in a cottage in the middle of a field, right? There's no shops anywhere.
Yeah.
And you're telling me it's 12 o'clock at night, you're about to brush it, you're going to go to bed and you're not going to brush your teeth, even though she said, yeah, go on, you can use mine.
You lost me at go to bed at 12 o'clock at night.
You lost me on in a cottage with a girl in the middle of the country for the weekend. Has that ever happened?
Man, hypothetically, stay with us.
Okay, I've got to stay with my life coach.
Right.
My life coach.
Stay with us, Dean.
Right.
I really want to answer, but I'll come back. Well, hold on. Who's forgot the toothbrush? Have I
You
forgot?
forgot it.
I wouldn't forget my toothbrush,
But this
Bethan.
is hypothetically, Dean. So you forgot your toothbrush. She's got her toothbrush. You're in the middle of nowhere. It's late at night. We'll say it's 4 in the morning.
Oh,
then.
okay, right. Now you're playing with your audience.
I'm on your level now. Right, come on. So it's 4 in the morning. And your fucking teeth are hairy. They're fluffy. You can feel the layer of fluff on the teeth.
You've got wok
You're
fried
not
greens
brushing
stuck
your
in
teeth.
between your teeth, mate.
You've got a chive. I can say a chive.
Tender stem broccoli.
You're creeping me out.
Come on.
Okay, right, Bethan, I'll do it. I'll borrow the toothbrush.
Have we just unlocked Dean's for you?
But listen, this is how I know I'm going to be a good life coach as well, because I've just got you to do something that you would never do.
Fear.
I would never
Bullying.
forget my toothbrush. And yes, because, as you know, I used to have a lodge up the Lake District.
Right.
So I've been to a cabin.
No.
Oh,
Have you taken a girl to a cottage in the middle of nowhere for the weekend?
My lodge in the Lake District.
Have you taken a girl to a cottage that you booked in the middle of nowhere for the weekend? He hasn't, and that's why I was bringing him up on it.
I would go to the lodge.
I would go. Right. Have you got anything else before we call it? Because we're hitting time.
Yeah, I was going to say anything you want to say.
Yeah, anything you want to shout out? Your book? Do you want to shout out your book?
Coming
Somebody
2025.
wants to make a book with us. I'll be happy to do it.
Forward from Dean Saunders.
A book or a book. I want some feedback for some people, other than us four, obviously. I want some feedback from some people this week. I want you to ask Joe. I want you to ask Alex. I want to see if it's book or book.
Okay.
That's what I want to come
And if
back
you,
with.
yeah, do you
I
want
think we should just we should just do it on this.
Do it
on this.
Just
people
do a
leave
poll.
the comments.
Yeah, comments. Is Dean right or is everyone else right?
He's going to walk out of here and he's going to message every single contact in his WhatsApp.
It's going straight in the committee. I'm going to go straight. So I've got a group chat called the committee with some of my closest friends, and we ask questions. So what do I say? Do I say book?
Book.
But everyone here says book.
Book.
Oh, you say book.
No, you say book. I don't know why
You say like book. You sound like a scout.
Yeah, like
Like book, man.
Cookbook. Okay, yeah. I won't answer. So you're going to have a book coming out in 2025.
Maybe.
The Bethan Kershaw story. We just need someone. Oh, you like that? Hey,
that
You like
sounds
one?
good. I mean, I'll probably think of a better name.
Okay, so you don't like my name. Brilliant.
And let's call it then. Thank you very much,
I think
Bethan. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you, guys.
Had a really good
Right,
time.
let's go. Boom.
3, 2, 1.
We are.